win a chance to debate Stephen A. and Max right here on national television. All you have to do is go to firstTakeYourTake.com, upload a 1-minute video with your best original sports debate. Keep it clean. 2 winners will be selected by our show staff. So get busy. We could see you at the debate desk taking on the fellas. Here's a few of the latest.
Now, I'd like to address the topic that you all discussed earlier pertaining to Mr. Dak Prescott. Tell me why he can't win MVP. The run game and the passing game are both inseparable. Ezekiel Elliott doesn't get lit if Dak Prescott is not already on fire.
League's MVP as of right now, I have Matt Ryan over Derek Carr and Tom Brady. I think it's pretty impressive to beat the defending Super Bowl champs and the NFC champs in back-to-back weeks. They lost on the technicality in Seattle, but then they came home and beat your Green Bay Packers.
The Raiders, they just win baby mentality. They are a force to be reckoned with. The black hole is back. Derek Carr is my MVP this season.
All right.
I love the young lady's sassiness.
She was great.
She was energetic. The other dude looked swole, like he on steroids. Like he was on steroids or something. I don't know about that. But he was good. He was good. They were all good.
You know it when you see it. When someone's feeling it, she was feeling it, you can see it.
Had the it factor?
I liked her.
All right.
She had the it factor. She did.
You know who else has the it factor? Ezekiel Elliott. I think it's safe to say the Cowboys are feeling pretty good about their 4th overall pick. Over 1,000 rushing yards through 9 games, 3 TDs, including the game winner in Pittsburgh Sunday, 8 straight wins. Ezekiel Elliott is taking the league by storm, and he's just a rookie. We asked you earlier in the show, should Zeke be the MVP favorite? The results are in. 59% say yes. Ryan, how we doing? Good to see you.
Good. How are you guys?
We are fantastic.
I know my man over here. I know you're not feeling good today. I want to apologize on behalf of the organization. You know, we as the Pittsburgh Steelers understand the love you have for us and the hatred you have for the Dallas Cowboys. So I know it was tough for you to get up this morning.
It's going to be hard.
But I really like your outfit.
It's going to be hard. I appreciate that. It's going to be hard for me. I mean, I don't even want to talk to the Steelers right now.
All right. Let's talk about another subject that you love, how well the Cowboys are doing. Should Zeke be the favorite to win NFL MVP?
In the interest of fairness, I must confess, yes. As of right now. When you consider the season that the Cowboys are having, combined with the way that he's been running the football since week 2, he's averaging 5.1 yards per carry overall. He's on course to eclipse the rookie rushing record of 1,800-plus yards. This massive offensive line, I mean, I'm so disgusted because I've got mixed emotions because obviously he's a Cowboy, but I got love for him, and I'm proud of the job that he's doing. I look at that offensive line and the hole they're creating for him. I'm looking at 3 touchdown runs that he had yesterday. Steelers didn't even touch him. I mean, he wasn't even touched. He wasn't even touched. A matter of fact, 82 of his 114 yards rushing was before contact. I mean, that's just embarrassing. Oh, my God. I digress. I'm sorry. I'm just so disgusted with the Steelers right now. Having said that, Ezekiel Elliott has been doing damage against a lot of people. Dak Prescott deserves a lot of credit. I get all of that. But you got to wonder, even though I believe Dak Prescott would still be good, you got to wonder how good he would be if you didn't have the running game that he has at his disposal. Of course, I'm thinking Tom Brady, ultimately, the Russell Wilsons of the world deserve consideration. But right now, the way the Dallas Cowboys are rolling, the only people that you can give credit to more than Ezekiel Elliott is the offensive line.
That's the point, though. Who was better, Emmitt Smith or Barry Sanders?
Barry Sanders.
No one thinks Emmitt Smith. I mean, sorry, and at the time, no one thought Emmitt Smith, but he was running behind an all-time great offensive line. Ezekiel Elliott, let me just say for the record, Cowboys fans, because I thought he was I thought he would be a good pro. And early on in the season, I said, I don't know. He doesn't look that fast, but he didn't look fast east-west. Boy, he got some north-south speed, like in a straight line. Forget it. And he's patient and smart and has a next gear when he needs it that results in these huge gains. But to your point, Stephen A., on his touchdowns this season, he's gone 101 yards. Yards before contact, 81. 3.9 yards per rush before first contact yesterday. What that means? No, sorry, they didn't touch him yesterday. He was not contacted on those situations yesterday. So how is he an excellent player? Yes, he is. But he's not better than Todd Gurley. I mean, Todd Gurley is facing stacked boxes. He has no quarterback. He doesn't have the same offensive line, etc. But he looks better than Todd Gurley right now.
Well, here's the thing, though. That's not how MVP is won, though, right? It's not necessarily like, is he the best running back? MVP is based on what you do during that year, and a lot of times how well your team plays because of what you've done. Which is why Derek Carr right now, for me, is the lead candidate for the MVP. The way that he's brought that team back at the end of games, the clutch throws, whether it be New Orleans, whether it be Tampa Bay, overtime, he's the guy driving that train right now, directing and conducting that train to have them 7-2 atop the AFC West, which is the toughest conference in the NFL. But to Ezekiel Elliott, if there was MVP voting on the team, he'd be third. First would be guys by the name of Free, Martin, Frederick, Leary, Smith. They're the MVPs of that team. And they can win it, actually, because players can stand for players. There's no rule. The P can stand for players, not player, right? Dak Prescott is a leading candidate for the MVP over Ezekiel Elliott. As the league goes, he's number 2 for me, because think about last year without Tony Romo. Castle, Whedon, Moore, they were awful. That's the reason we said they had to get a quarterback. But you look at this team now, the drive to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, that's not Ezekiel Elliott, right? That wasn't Ezekiel Elliott making plays. That was Dak Prescott having the presence, having the poise to bring them back. So when you look at this team in general,
he's number 3 on the team. One thing real quick, I know Matt Ryan wasn't great in the second half last year, but over the course of this entire season, if you're actually talking about value for a player, I would say it's still Matt Ryan. He was making throws in the first half of that game that only a handful of quarterbacks, period, can make. I know he's throwing it to Julio Jones early on, but still, when you look at what Matt Ryan's done this year, one mediocre second half and a loss, to me, does not throw away the work he's done. I would still say he should be the MVP.
Let me disagree with you. First of all, Emmitt Smith not only won a league MVP, he won a Super Bowl MVP. We knew he was behind that offensive line. It didn't stop him from getting those rewards. That's number 1. Number 2, we know we're not going to give it to the offensive line. I mean, we say they deserve it, and we know they do, but they ain't getting the damn award, okay? So let's be realistic. We ain't got to. Have you ever? Has there been?
I'm not saying the team MVP.
Has there been an offensive line that got a league MVP?
No.
Then stop it. Then stop it. Because you know it's not going to happen. So don't bring unrealistic stuff into the equation.
Why can't I? You bring unrealistic stuff all the time.
Not at all. Not at all.
Words.
Stats. Him. That's him. Him and
no, I
got nothing on him.
Pristine
you just wrong right there.
And unique
You're wrong right there. Listen, okay, whatever.
Stats, that's fair.
Whatever. The point that I'm trying to make you, well, not only do I bring the words and all the stats, but I'm also showing up to games, so I'm reporting. But that's neither here nor there.
And the charisma, by the way.
Absolutely.
I mentioned my charisma.
Always the charisma. That would be mine, not yours. The point is this. Hold on. The other thing is this. Dak Prescott. I'm not trying to take anything away from that young brother. Not at all. But because he's a 4th-round pick and because he's a rookie, I'm wondering how much does the offensive line beating folks up, along with Ezekiel Elliott, who we all recognize has, I mean, talk about Mars attacks. That big head of his, I mean, it's news if that dude gets a concussion. It's news if that dude gets a concussion. Yeah, I know he can give them, but I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know about the last running back I ever saw with a head that size was O.J. Simpson. That's the last time. Sorry to bring him up because obviously the two don't compare. But the point that I'm trying to make to you, the size of that head of his.
A big noggin.
What a massive head. And so, listen, if he gets a concussion.
So he gets to win the MVP because his head's big?
And he's running the football well. He's imposing, he's inflicting punishment. Okay, all of those things play a role. He's producing numbers-wise, producing wins-wise, and he's distributing
the weight of that head. He's so fast.
And distributing punishment.
He's leaning forward.
Oh, that's a good point.
He's leaning forward.
So DeMarco Murray.
I think you would duck from him. I really do. I really do.
Whatever.
That head.
DeMarco Murray, right, wins the rushing title 2 years ago.
Right.
Darren McFadden, who can play, but who's a candle, right? One blow and he's out. He rushes for over 1,000 yards behind this same line.
I agree with you.
Right? So can you imagine the pressure, not only being the Dallas Cowboy starting quarterback, right? But being on a team where Tony Romo sits and watches every game.
I don't think
knowing that when he comes back,
Totally agree. Dak to me is ahead of Ezekiel Elliott on that team. I agree with your order. Offensive line 1, Dak 2.
I don't believe about that much pressure about Zach, though, because I think he was playing with house money.
I want to say one thing about DeMarco Murray.
Sure.
DeMarco Murray is a B-plus running back at least. But behind that Dallas Cowboys line, he looked like an A-plus. Zeke is an A running back running behind an A++ line.
Yeah,
so
great.
he looks
it's great
all
for Dallas.
world.
It's great for those Cowboys.
They'll still lose. They'll still lose.
All right.
They're going to Super Bowl.
Someone else who's losing. That bad man, Stephen A. He's been pretty bad. What is the deal? So it's officially time to panic in Green Bay. Don't miss those excuses coming up next. And after waffling on Dak and Romo, Jerry Jones finally has his plan set for Big D's QB situation.
Hi, I'm Usain Bolt, the fastest man in the world, and the people of Jamaica love and watch for a steak.